All right, while we're having fun, Jesse Lee Peterson made an appearance once again. I mean,
Oh boy, I saw this.
this is like not even, I mean, we just have to have some fun. And I watched this probably 4 or 5 times last night. I was laughing so hard. So Adam Friedland had Jesse Lee Peterson on, who I guess is just like no longer.
Sorry, just to clarify, Adam went on Jesse's show.
Oh,
yeah. So,
he did.
Yeah. So
okay.
Jesse in the beginning, Adam in the beginning of the episode, he literally is like, "Who booked me for this?" He literally is like, "Why did you invite me?"
That's actually an interesting question because there's a while, like 3 or 4 years ago, where everyone except me was getting invited to go on Jesse Pearson. Like Griscom got invited.
Didn't Michael?
Michael got invited, decided not to do it, but a whole bunch of people did do it.
Right. But he was just like such a fun, very dumb right winger to make fun of. He had the whole beta and alpha fixation. Beta. People may remember that from that sound drop. But I guess so. Adam Friedland went on his show and they were talking about what's okay to say in terms of humor and jokes about Jewish people and jokes about other races. And it was just a thing of beauty how Adam manipulated him into just saying what he says.
This is so embarrassing. This whole thing has been embarrassing, but I feel like I really like you as a guy.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
Ask.
Go ahead.
If I'm at your show and you're making jokes about the Jews, right? And
myself, kind of, yeah.
Right, and you're making jokes about the Jews, and I'm cracking up. Should I be laughing or not?
It's interesting. I've had that question. It's like, did people in like the Midwest watch Woody Allen movies? Because those movies got like wide distribution, right? But it's like, who the hell wants to see that crap? I get it. I'm like, that stuff makes so much sense to me, but it's like, it's so like, I can't imagine that it would appeal to other people.
Should I be laughing if you're making Jewish jokes?
Jewish, like what sense? Like Jewish people
at one of your shows, and you're up making jokes, and they're really funny.
I'm mainly making fun of myself.
Let's say that all the Jews are laughing, they're cracking up. And I'm wondering, should I laugh or not?
It's a similar. So
should I laugh?
Right?
Should I laugh?
But I guess I don't do Jewish jokes.
I thought you said you did.
I do Jewish, like self-deprecation, right? So making fun of yourself is like a self-deprecation. It's like it's an aspect of comedy that, like, a lot of Jewish guys.
I got to keep moving here. If you're making Jewish jokes and an audience full of Jews,
what kind of Jewish joke? But I'm not. That's not what I said. I make fun of myself.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Which is a Jewy thing to do.
So if you make a Jewy joke,
I'm not like
should I laugh at a Jewish audience?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this: you have a show called. You have a show called. You host a show.
Did I answer your question? Are you moving on?
Wait,
go ahead.
You could have, Jesse. You could have pressed me on that. I was vulnerable. You had me on the ropes right there, and you moved on.
But I'm not trying to have you on a rope.
You know what you did? You turned the other cheek, much like this guy from Nazareth.
All right, this is much context. Yeah, so I want to get to the part where this happens, but it's amazing. I mean, people should watch the whole thing. But
how revolting I look is funny. Absolutely laughing, man.
Well, how about if you say, I have a Jewish...
What is a Jewish joke? Can you explain what that is?
I don't know. You're the comedian.
You keep saying Jewish jokes. I just don't understand what you mean.
But I thought you said that you made Jewish jokes.
I said that I do self-deprecation.
Okay, I got you now. I have you now.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
And give me a quick answer because of time. If
no, I don't want to stop talking to you. We got another hour, baby.
So let me ask: if you should make a Jewish joke, and I'm in the audience with a bunch of Jews, should I laugh?
Okay, help me out for a second. I'm not. Help me out for a second. Could you please tell me?
Here we go.
A Jewish joke so I can understand what you mean.
Jews love money.
Is that a joke? What are you talking about? That's a joke?
But should I laugh about that? If you made that joke,
Wait,
and I'm
should
in
you
the
laugh about Jews love money?
what?
Tell me a Jewish joke. Listen, you're a free speech conservative. I'm not sensitive. I'm a comedian.
Right.
I believe in the First Amendment. So just tell me. You have to know one.
I just told you one. You didn't say it was funny.
Jews love money is not. It didn't have the structure of a joke. It didn't have a setup. It didn't have a punchline.
You're still laughing.
Jews have a big nose.
Jesse, you're funny. I believe in you. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think he's less of a free
Oh.
speech.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry, Brandon. What were you saying?
I was gonna say he's less of a free speech conservative and more of like a slurred speech conservative. Like, that's exactly how afraid I am of how like wet my mouth must sound on podcasts. Like it just sounded like he had just like a full mouth full of spit.
I love that he gave. So it's almost as if in a beautiful way, that interaction had the structure of the joke. The setup was the first anti-Semitic remark.
Yes.
And then the second anti-Semitic remark was the punchline, and the fact that none of them were jokes; they were just anti-Semitic remarks.
I love Adam, like
Brilliant.
being so patient there and saying like, okay, look, like I know you're ready. You're so prepared for someone to take offense or like let's actually walk through this step by step at a fundamental level. And he can't stop laughing at saying Jews love money.
No, I know.
I also he keeps bringing up that like in his mind, the only people who would go see like Adam Friedland is a bunch of Jews. He's just like stay out there with this Jewish audience.
A room
And the Jews are all laughing. Can I laugh? Like isn't that what he verbatim said?
Yeah. I wish he'd come back on the scene. Miss him.
I think he just thinks like stand-up comedy is just like a room full of Jewish people. Honestly, he just thinks it's a bunch of Jewish people in the audience.
It's like a synagogue in here. There's just like
we love money. That's all he thinks they say too. The on stage, we love money. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
I think conservatives just don't understand what a joke is. Because like since forever, but definitely since like Obama became president, they've just described like the offensive statements that they make as like jokes. Like, you know, Jesse Waters has been doing a lot of that too recently, where it's just like, oh, I just said something really, really gross and offensive. It's like I'm just joking. It's like,
But they don't understand art. Like that's part of why they can't interpret like The Wolf of Wall Street as satire, and they think it's aspirational, or you know, they look at say something like Goodfellas, or other mob movies like that are well made by Scorsese that are deconstructions of like toxic masculinity. They see them as aspirational and like wish fulfillment, and there's some of that too, right? But they only take the fantasy element of the violence that they can inflict and like out of it, right? And they make it into hero worship. Scarface, same thing. They leave out the parts where it ends badly for them. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just what they don't understand. It's what they understand free speech humor to be. Like when Elon Musk took over Twitter and they all cheered that when he said comedy is legal again. What do they view as comedy? Jews have big nose.
Right.
Like that's what they like. That's
Slurs.
you're just saying a slur. And not even funny
that's all
slurs.
it is for them. They actually, that to them, like to Jesse, whatever his name is, that was comedy that he was doing. Those were jokes because that's what they view as humor, just slurs.
Exactly.
Which is so true. And also to Emma's point, like they view art, like they view everything, you know, in society as a way to like garner and accumulate power. So when they watch stand-up comedy, they're looking at it as like, oh, this person's on stage and like making people listen to them. And it's so powerful. He has so much power. And art is about how much money you can accumulate. We saw with the NFTs too. Like art is about how much money you can accumulate via, you know, any kind of, you know, medium that can be created as considered creative. They don't think of art as like the act of creation or the act of like putting together like the structure of a joke. They just think of it as like another way in society to like become rich, famous, and have powerful and make people like listen to you.
Or to consume something. Yeah. I mean, and those same people are also enamored by something like ChatGPT, right? Where they don't place value in like what art is and how the labor of art is what we find like beautiful in terms of the result of it. So they think that like there's a shortcut to achieving that kind of expression, and it's all just slop.
It's the imperatives of investors just made to just transplant into people's head like a brain chip. Like all the art or all the like architecture that these sort of like take us back return type of people online that support Elon, like all that, like, you know, from like 150 years ago, that stuff looks interesting because it wasn't made using like all the labor saving processes that have come around since then. It was like masons like building St. Paul's Cathedral by hand and that sort of thing. And then people wonder why we don't build anything like that anymore. It's because the developers are capitalists who are doing it as cheaply as possible, you goddamn idiots.